Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Verdantis Insights. I'm your host, Priyanka Agarwal, Senior Global Marketing Specialist at Verdantis. And today we are diving into one of the most persistent and overlooked operational challenges that organizations face asset work order management. Whether you're in manufacturing, utilities, oil and gas, or food and beverage, you have likely experienced the frustrating symptoms of broken or inefficient maintenance workflows, delayed work orders, missing or inaccurate bill of materials, and constant reactive maintenance emergencies. For many, it boils down to incomplete, inconsistent, or outdated asset data. When frontline teams lack the right information at the right time, everything from preventive maintenance to emergency repairs becomes slower and more expensive. This is not just a productivity issue, it directly impacts asset reliability, cost control, safety compliance, and your ability to scale maintenance operations with confidence. To explore these challenges and the way forward, I am joined by Mohit Mittal, product manager at Vodantis, who's been instrumental in building our asset data and work order optimization product. He's been working closely with some of the world's largest organizations to help them harmonize and operationalize their asset data. He understands the gaps that exist in traditional EAM systems and how the right data foundation can unlock true efficiency, visibility, and control. Mohit, great to have you here.
Thanks, Priyanka, and I'm also glad to be here. And you correctly pointed out this is such a relevant topic, especially with the increasing pressure on the operations to drive uptime, efficiency, and especially like controlling the cost.
Absolutely, Mohit. So let's dive right in. So, Mohit, from your experience, what's the real reason companies are still struggling with maintenance efficiency, even with all the technology out there?
Honestly, Priyanka, I would say that it all starts with data quality and consistency issues. Even in, I would say, mature organizations, we see fragmented asset records, incomplete bill of materials, delayed or unclear work orders, and especially a lack of visibility, I would say, into actually what's on the ground level versus what was actually planned. If you combine all of these things together, these they create bottlenecks. And it's not like that the teams are not skilled, they are. But if you're providing them poor information, what can they do from their side? This lead to like delays in maintenance, confusion, and a lot of duplicacy in ordering parts or using them. And the worst case scenario, a lot of unplanned downtime.
Right, right, Mohit. So, Mohit, when teams operate reactively, they are always one failure away from a major disruption. So, for the
Right.
person actually doing the job, what does this problem actually feel like?
Actually, what I would say is you can see technicians, wasting their time verifying like part numbers, incomplete, they have work plans, and they are ordering the same parts again and again because the bill of material data is no either incomplete or it is not properly linked to the right asset. And
Right.
in some like worst case scenarios, people are missing their SLAs regarding the maintenance because like the data that they had didn't correctly reflect the asset criticality or what actually was the spare part that was supposed to be used.
Mhm.
And for a company, this is not just a delay, but I would say it is a cost and risk multiplier.
Right. Actually, that's a very powerful point. So, it's like, what's the fix? And I think many of our listeners right now have experienced this firsthand. How are leading companies changing their approach, or maybe you can share a real example that our listeners can relate to?
Definitely, Priyanka. I would say the shift is towards more towards like data driven and tech enabled maintenance. Companies are what they're doing is governing and harmonizing more of their assets. They are focusing more on managing their bill of materials and restructuring them properly. Apart from that, a huge focus has been on automation of how a work order would be created, right from the notification stage to assignment stage, all of these details. And again, they also want to have reliable data inputs. That means instead of someone just randomly inputting anything, they should have a reliable data inputs, a structured way input. We are helping clients use our AI powered tools to classify, enrich, and validate their asset, and also their work order data using our latest AI agents. I'll give you an example. For example, like there was one of our global energy clients who was was struggling with like delay in work orders, and it was not because they didn't have enough resources, but their
Right.
MRO was in such a disorganized way that they were not able to properly link it or identify spare parts. And I'm not talking about like tens or hundreds of equipments. I'm talking about like tens of thousands of parts across different plants. And again, the main reason was their bomb was not correctly linked to the correct asset, leading to high carrying cost and poor inventory management.
Okay.
Apart from this,
Great.
technicians constantly had to, like contact the procurement team for spare part specs. And the funny part is the spare part existed in their inventory, but because they didn't know it exists, so they had to order it again and again. And in a nutshell, they were doing like maintenance in a very ineffective way.
Right. Right. So, Mohit, when you say AI
Hmm,
agents and like you have
hmm,
helped across global clients,
right.
so hearing that, our listeners will definitely want to know like how you fix it, like what exactly is a step-by-step process that Verdantis is into and how it delivers a better result.
Okay, so maybe what I can do is do a quick flow demonstration to you, if that's okay, Priyanka.
Sure.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll quickly share my screen. Let me know when you can see it. Let me explain what exactly are we doing here into our work order management. There are two parts that we are trying to resolve. The first one is how exactly do you make sure that using work order extraction, you can update the bill of materials that needed to be present there into your BOM file. And the second part is automatic creation of work orders using AI. So let's dig deep into the first part. I'll first explain the normal flow and then exactly what we are doing to improve the current process. In a normal flow, a notification is issued when a technician or a maintenance person uh, finds a problem. A work order is issued against that problem, a technician is assigned, and then the work order is marked as complete. All of these details flow into their ERP system or the CMMS system. In some cases, we have even seen that people maintain like work order information either in Excel files or Word documents. Now that this is where we come into picture. We gather all of this data from the ERP and CMS system or direct upload and use AI and our proprietary algorithm to process the work order information and get the BOM on information that you need. Now, let's go dig deep into how exactly do we do this. Let's say there are multiple work orders against the equipment and they can span over a time of 10 years, 15 years. So we first create a hierarchical order for the work order starting from the day one to the present day. And there can be like tens of thousands of work orders during this time period. For each work order, what we do is we extract the information like header data, like individual task description, any goods movement data, and more importantly, any free text or any long description that is present in the like work order. So we use AI to analyze all of this information and extract any material change information. What I mean by material change information, any information change or a part replacement that should have been added into the bill of material but is not there. So using AI, our AI agents, we are able to extract this information. The next step, we compare this information with the old BOM data or the bill of material data that you presently have. Once we compare, we identify areas where there are gaps. I'll take an example. Let's say there is a bill of material which should have 100 elements. 50 of them are currently in your bill of material data, but 50 are missing. So what do you do? Using our worksync product, what you can do is extract information from the work orders, get information about these missing 50 bill of material items, and we will also send you comparison report so you can see, okay, now these 50 items are missing from my bill of material. Out of these 50, maybe 40 are more relevant to you that you want to add into the bill of material, and 10 maybe not so relevant. So right now you have bill of material with 90 items. That's a huge and great improvement on your current bill of material. So this is just a design of how exactly it would work. Here you can see you have work order, order ID, order description, on which date the order was executed, and it is also highlighted that any material that was not part of your bill of material but was used in a like for executing a work order. Maybe the part was added or replaced. So all of this information you can directly see here, review it and approve it. Moving on to the second part, that is auto creation and assignment of work orders using AI. So right now, first let me explain the current traditional process. Let's say there is a equipment. A technician find a fault or a problem with the equipment. What they do is they issue a ticket or a notification against that problem. Against the notification, a work order is assigned. That is assigned to a person. They execute the job. And once the job is executed, they will update the history and close the ticket. Now we'll focus on this, the most important part, that is creation and assignment of work orders. Normally, it takes a lot of time to manually analyze what exactly is the issue here. Who should I assign this? What should be the priority for the order? What materials do I need to complete this work order? A lot of parameters needs to be analyzed before creating and assigning a maintenance or a work order. Now, using AI, we can instantly create work orders after analyzing this information: equipment criticality, and what was the problem and fault, is there any standby equipment or backup equipment available for that equipment. Based on that, we can assign the priority. We can also check how many spares we have available based on the work order, how much manpower do we need, what is the time frame, and what are our PRTs. So a person or a team of person analyzing all of this information manually, which is also prone to errors, taking too much time, that is in fact leading to more downtime and more time to fix the issue. What our AI agent can do is instantly analyze this information, past historical data, past problems, who was assigned to resolve that problem, exactly like how much time it took, like in the past, to fix that issue, what was the priority assigned. All of this information can be generated by AI directly. So it will save you a lot of time, I would say, and it will help you make better decisions. So this is how it would work. Based on the past historical data and the parameters that you have set, it will assign priority levels to each work order. It will pick up persons who is best suited for that job from different departments. And you can also track the progress of your work order based on the what input you have assigned and what is the queue number. Thank you, Priyanka. Now let's continue our discussion.
Mohit, just a quick question here. Is it like possible to integrate this product with any existing system or ERPs?
Yeah, definitely. Even right now, you can integrate it with any ERP system or any CMMS system, whatever you want.
Nice. And once we generate the information from work order data, Is it like
Right.
possible that we can map it into the existing BOM in the ERP system?
Yes, that's actually a very good question, Priyanka. And that is one of the key benefits I want to highlight here. Not only you would be able to extract any missing bill of material information, like from the work orders, you would be able to instantly map it to the relevant equipment and asset in your plant. So it's a two-way step.
Okay. Mohit, what if the bomb does not exist in the system at all?
That's actually another very good point, Priyanka. So for that process, you would have to go over another AI-driven product called Autodesk AI. So what that product does is you have to upload your initial equipment manual, catalog, or any image file, whatever you have, which contains your bill of material data. Once you upload the file, it will not only give you the material list, but it will also create the hierarchy, the list of assembly, sub-assembly, spare parts, all the details in a structured way, so that you first have the first hand bill of material data, and then you can use our worksync product to automatically add the materials that were added over a period of, let's say, 10 years or 5 years. So you have the pitch perfect bill of material at the end of the day.
Nice, nice. I must say that's a really powerful framework. And like, have you seen this work across industries?
Absolutely. And I'll give you a short example. In manufacturing, there was one of our client, and we were able to help them reduce their downtime by 18%. Just by aligning their bill of material data with their current assets and automating some of the work order process they currently had. I'll give you another example. In utilities, company were working on, and there were like 30,000 items across different ERP systems, and we had them centralize the whole process and set up a real-time database integrated with SAP. In a food and beverage industry, we have them standardize spare part description and their procurement cost reduced by 30%. I'm telling you, it is just amazing, like how much value you can unlock just by restructuring and cleaning out your data.
Definitely, definitely. So it is actually impressive. And I must say, so it's like for someone listening right now and thinking, oh, we have the same problem. So where should they start from?
Okay, I would say they should start with an audit of their current asset or a bill of material. So they should ask themselves these questions, like, is my like equipment or material description consistent across various plants or various ERPs I'm using? And more importantly, the bill of material data that I have, is it the ground reality or is it just on paper? And there's a big difference between what's actually on the ground versus what I have into my system. And lastly, if like, do my work orders have standard, structured data, or is it like poorly managed data where there are a lot of free text is available into my work order? So the key idea is, once you identify these gaps, you can use Vadantis products like Harmonize and Integrity, along with our like leading AI products, to automate these whole challenges. So you can like spend less time worrying and worrying about failures, worrying about costs, and instead of doing everything manually, you can save your time and make considerable progress. And that's where Vatentis can, I would say, step in as a transformation partner.
Definitely, definitely, Mohit. Mohit, thank you so much for this actionable insights. It sounds like anyone going uh, for a first step for any organization, it would be to start with an asset work order management. And to our listeners, if your asset and work order data is slowing you down, now's the time to fix it and future proof your maintenance strategies. Thank you for tuning in today. See you in the next episode. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Priyanka.